Alright, so our next Patreon request comes from Luke Morehouse, who asked me to do a Hazbin Hotel Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy crossover. So, yeah. As always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can hit the 3rd tier. That'll allow you access to do videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, I hope you all enjoy this, and let's get started. So the story begins at Billy's house, of course, Billy's house, and he's just watching Dinobanoids on the TV, like he's just enjoying it. So it's like, dinosaurs and lasers. So he's having a grand old time, but then the TV goes out. Like, the TV goes out, and at first, Billy is like, this is the greatest show ever. It's all in dark. And that's when Billy's dad comes in and basically says, sorry, Billy, the TV bill wasn't paid. Looks like we're gonna have to deal with no television for the rest of the week until your mom gets paid again. Billy's like freaking out, and then he goes to Grim, who's like, Grim, the TV's not working. Use your death powers to make the TV come back to life. And he's like, stupid boy, I can't do that. I can't do that, man. I'm not gonna even attempt that. No, thank you. I cannot do a Grim impression at all, and I'm not even gonna try to do a bad Jamaican impression. But he's like, are you crazy? I can't bring back the dead. He's like, I can't bring back a dead TV. He's like, can we go to the nether, to the underworld and get one? No. Maybe it would do you some good to read, I don't know, books, or at the very least comic books for a week. But Graham! No. So Billy leaves, and he's looking at the TV, and he's like, I would do anything to bring you back to me. I would scour the highest mountain. I would dive into the deepest trench of the ocean if I could only see you again. I would give anything for it. And that's when the TV suddenly, comes on in static, and a voice goes, anything? So a face shows up, and Billy's like, who are you? And he's like, Vox the name. TV communication is my game. And souls. We'll get to that in a minute. So, Billy, I heard you're having some TV trouble. Yeah. How about we come to a little understanding? How about if I help you give you back your TV, we'll work on an exchange at a later time. Does that sound good? He's like, I already know how this goes. I've been to the underworld a few hundred times. I know how this goes. You want my soul or something? And he's like, you're not making this fun, kid. Do you want the TV or not? He's like, do you want the TV back or not? And he's like, yeah. Sign. And Vox pulls out a contract and goes, sign here. And Billy signs his name, and the TV comes back on, and Billy's dad's like, oh, how'd you get the TV back working, son? Oh, I sold my soul to a TV demon. Oh, must be a good electrician. So they're both watching, they're watching TV and enjoying themselves. But as, after a week, Vox comes back, and he's like, Billy, my boy, well, I hope you enjoyed that week long of television. It's time to pay your dues. And he's like, oh, but I want to finish watching this Dinobanoids marathon. He's like, you gotta pay a debt. You signed a contract. Joke's on you. I can't read. But he's like, doesn't matter. You signed it. So, Billy, you're going to hell. But, however, about that point, Mandy and Grim show up, and Vox is like, wait, you know the Grim Reaper? Yeah. And Grim is like, Billy, did you sell your soul to another devil? To another demon? Oh, but the TV wasn't working, Grim. So Grim and Mandy basically are like, there's a law. There's laws here. You can't just sell your soul. There's got to be anti-idiot soul-selling laws in hell. And to which Vox is like, you Americans and your due process. It's so much easier in Ecuador. All right. We'll have our trial in hell. We'll have your little trial for your friend's soul. But until then, Billy's going to stay the day in hell. So, grabs Billy, flings him into the TV, which opens up to be a portal to hell. And Billy spends the day in hell. Which, honestly, is not bad. He goes down there, and he's like, yeah, boom, lands on his face. And he's like, what? This is hell? I thought we were going to the underworld. Totally different thing. That's like suburbia of hell. That's the Bronx of hell. That is the that is the lower south side of hell. This is the real hell, my boy. Yeah, and now you are property, at least for the next 24 hours, and maybe for the rest of your life, of the V's. Velvet, myself, Vox, and Valentino. So, and he's like, cool. So can I watch TV? No, you can't watch TV. You're in hell. But you've got TVs everywhere. Even your face is a TV. And Billy is like, look, since you're going to spend the day in hell, we're going to put you to work. You're going to be my personal assistant for the rest of the day. And that does not go well for Vox. Of course, shenanigans ensue, and Vox is just like every little thing he gives Billy to do, he immediately breaks it or destroys a whole wing of the building. Meanwhile, back with Grimm, he's like, he's talking to Mandy, and he's like, I know that demon Vox. He's a television demon who is kind of an asshole and a cheat. He's still mad at me for reaping his soul while he was still doing an on-air television special. What did he die of? Oh, he died of a bad crowd. If this was a scene, it would be like, if this was a scene of the episode, it would cut to, like, Vox when he was still alive, just absolutely bombing on stage, to the point where they start, like, throwing, tomatoes and rotten vegetables at him. Then one guy just picks it, like, out of nowhere, a dude just grabs the piano and just smashes it, like, just fucking kills Vox with it. And he's like, so, what, obviously Vox isn't gonna play fair to get Billy's soul, but then again, we just gotta wait 24 hours until we just gotta wait 24 hours. And he's like, 24 hours, then we go get Billy? No, 24 hours until they give back Billy. And sure enough, the V's house is just being completely decimated by Billy's incompetence and stupidity, to the point where Valentino's just like, my porn set! My dildos! My cameras! Velvet's, all of her stuff has been completely ripped apart and destroyed because Billy accidentally let a bunch of demonic moths into Velvet's set of the wing. So obviously this isn't going well for anybody. This in no way, shape, or form is going well for any of the V's, and it gets so bad that, like, from all the way at the Hazbin Hotel, Charlie and the rest of them are, like, seeing smoke pile out of the V's tower, and they all look at Alistair, who's like, don't look at me, I didn't do this. He's just like, I'm as confused as you are. I didn't do this, but it's fun nonetheless. So throughout the whole thing, just basically throughout the whole dang thing, it gets to the point where Vox is like, forget it! I don't want this kid, there's no amount of torture that Lucifer could put me through to make me want to keep this idiot! So, opens another portal through a TV, tears up the contract, and yeets Billy back through. To which everyone's like, he's like, hey guys, I had the best time! Hell's amazing! Hell is awesome! It's like a theme park! And Mandy just looks at Grimm like, I told you. So, there you go, guys. That is the Billy and Mandy Hazbin Hotel crossover. For this one, I wanted to go a little different because, like, I use Alistair in the main cast all the time, but I was like, let's use one with the V's. So there you go. But once again, I'd like to thank Luke Morehouse for this fanfiction idea. This was a lot of fun, and as well as the continued patronage from him. And like I said before, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.